I may be saying
Appears
that.
to be a prawn over there.
Nah, I don't care. I'll deal with it when it happens, you know? I may be sounding all high and mighty about the whole kind of like, oh yeah, America, genocide, fantastic. But you know, I don't defend England's atrocities either. Every nation's committed really bad atrocities. I mean, look at Canada, they got Quebec, right? I mean, that's an atrocity, right?
Well, I mean, you're English,
Yeah.
born in England.
Yeah.
I'm descended from the Irish, so I'm required by Irish law to hate you.
Okay, cool, sweet. I mean, that's awesome. But I'm not specifically descended from English. I do have a substantial amount of Italian in me as well. So.
Oh, well, that makes you so much better.
Yeah, I know, right? Because, you know, Italians are never racist, right?
Never ever.
I'm speaking of terms of New York here. I've met a couple of people from New York who are Italian. It's it's a little bit dubious. Like I said, I don't like to stereotype, but I've met 2 or 3 people who come from New York who are Italian, and well, will claim to be Italian. I will say. Well, I suppose it's different. I suppose it's different when you say you claim that you have Italian heritage, right? Rather than saying you are actually Italian, kind of thing.
Yeah, I have a ex-coworker now, I guess, who claims that they are Italian, but they're actually born in New York and now a citizen of Canada.
See, that's bizarre. Like, I don't understand the logic.
Like,
yeah.
I actually asked. It was like 4 or 5 generations back then. You know, their great whoever's moved to New York.
Yeah.
So they're not even like first generation baby. There's several generations in. They're American as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. My grandfather was Italian, so I suppose that makes me closer Italian than what he was claiming. I mean, I don't have a problem with Italians or people who claim to be Italian. I have a problem with racists. That's what I have a problem with. So.
I have a problem with spaghetti westerns.
What's your problem with spaghetti westerns? A fistful of dollars, a few dollars more. Thing is, right, is A Fistful of Dollars is a great movie. A Few Dollars More is an okay movie, and the one that everyone claims to be the best, the good, the bad, and the ugly, I actually would argue is the worst of those 3.
Command alert pending.
Probably just the most famous.
Well, that's the thing is everyone.
For example, I've only ever heard of the 3rd one.
Yeah. Everyone always talks about the good, the bad, the ugly, saying, "Oh, it's amazing! It's the best Western like ever." And I'm thinking, but the first 2 were better. Like, in my view, I think they're better stories. They got more continuity. They flow better. The good, bad, the ugly, like half the movie's been dragged across a desert, and it's not really that interesting. Speaking of, you know,
Soundtrack though.
yeah. Speaking of not really interesting, being dragged across a desert, how long have we been traveling through space now?
196 days.
Sweet.
And look, I've only been completely worried the entire time. I'm just sitting here in my pilot seat going, did I leave the oven on?
You know, you switch the oxygen. Oh no, the oxygen's back. Sweet, we did get some more. Enough for 81 days. Wow, okay, cool. I mean, it's nice that people have stopped dying. I mean, it's you know, a nice change.
That's kind of them.
Yeah. It's very gentlemanly
the
of you.
hippies died off first, so then the oxygen-growing plants are able to regrow.
Ah.
Now we're doing good.
I'd like to think that they weren't eating the plants; they were smoking them. Because that would pollute the rest.
The issue.
Yeah, like pollute the oxygen environment. Oh man, if that was the
How many
case,
of those almost 5,000 civilians vape?
yeah. Well, that
Or how many of them will tell me about it?
we'd argued, yeah, that the people dying would have like decreased the food issue because you know less people. But if they're all high as balls and had the munches, wouldn't that exacerbate that situation? So like everyone would, like have the munches and just be going to town on like the Doritos. I mean other
Yeah, but
food.
they're also dead.
That's never stopped a stoner in my view.
I think it has. How is there a food demand when we have like 79 days of food
Revealing
left?
hailed.
Maybe I decreased the
Battle stations.
because you can extend food usage by going into civilian tab and like adjusting their rations. So maybe I put the rations on low. I can't remember if I did or not. So people
this
like
guy's totally gonna wreck us. I mean, he's got this one. Yep.
Enemy missed. Tactic.
also I blocked with a red shield. That could have been bad.
Yeah, you're lucky you got a good pilot.
Enemy module
Yep.
offline.
No, we're lucky they suck at firing. Yeah, I dodged out the way. I did notice I took out the weapons, but you could still hear the charge up noise there. So I wasn't sure he was going to fire or not, because I didn't know how buggy this game was. So I was just like, I'm not chancing that. It almost feels unfair when you're fighting one.
To be fair, you've only dealt with like 3-on-1s.
Yeah,
Enemy module
just like
repaired.
casually like thinking, well, I could take out his weapon. Yeah, I will, of course, take out his weapons.
Enemy module offline.
There we go. So you can still hear the charger. It's strange.
I was hoping we'd fire this time, if I'm honest.
And bang goes the dynamite.
Wiped out. Enemy enhancements recovered. Engines at full power.
Well, I mean, we lost a few people, but we've gained 2 more. So we're
Well, I like the newbies more than I like Zan, so we're good.
Is that why you killed him? Is that why you're worried? You're worried people find out you did it on purpose?
I was worried before that, so your argument's invalid.
Oh, okay.
I was planning it from the start.
Was he like a distant cousin or something?
The Zan and Los families have argued for generations.
You like the Hatfield and McCoys then?
Well, yeah, except we never actually turned to violence, just arguing.
What do you mean it didn't turn to violence? You killed him in a shuttle crash.
No, he died in an unfortunate accident that I happened to be the pilot of. I
You know-
then, while living on 1 HP, took command of the mission and successfully returned home.
You're not making a very good case for your defense. I
No
mean,
court would convict me.
oh man, these moments. Man, we're still in this fucking red nebula. Like, this thing just goes on and on and on.
On the bright side, behind us it's blue now, so we fucked up their, like, core systems.
Yeah, we pretty much just burrowed straight through the middle. We're getting there, though. Look at all those clear sectors. I mean, I'm almost tempted to go back and clear out that one red.
Engineering alert.
But I don't think I've got enough civilians left to do so. I have lost over half of them.
See, while other captains prioritize things like oxygen and food supply, you prioritized on beating down the hippies.
Yep. Man,
And I mean, our ship's the one that hasn't crashed into the planet yet, so we're good. We're winning.
Oh, I was thinking, tons of civilian issues come up, right? And
Resolve.
I'm wondering if, like, breeding's one. Because I haven't come across it if there is one. Like, oh yeah, we've got, like a breeding issue. Like, you know, people are infertile, or there's, like, people raping each other or whatever. I just got the image of being like, wow, let's send a couple of commanders back to deal with that. It's like the overseers in can you believe that? Actually, I was reading about this, and it's like ridiculous. Like people were complaining that Fallout Shoulder was sexist because you know you have to breed with females, right? And that's sexist, right?
Well, no, the reason it was considered sexist is because in that game, the females are basically the only real resource worth managing.
Enemy shot. Missed.
I mean,
Like,
that's kind of
everything else was secondary. The only thing you actually cared about was who are the women's who can have sex with them? How can I get more babies?
Enemy module offline.
But when you actually think about it, isn't that accurate to how the situation would be anyway?
Reported.
I mean,
It's debatable.
I mean, you need both genders to procreate, right? That's the idea. So having equal amount of each is a good idea, I'd imagine.
Deflected.
You don't want someone on their lonesome, do you?
Well, I mean, honestly, I'm still playing that game on my phone, and at this point, I have one couple that is constantly producing children to
Module repaired.
fuel the vault.
I will comment on this, however, despite the fact like I'm like sort of defending Fallout Shelter in a little bit. I mean, I'm also not going to because I actually don't like it. I actually don't like the gameplay or anything. It's very boring to me. So
I just look at it for like 10 minutes a day and then move on.
yeah.
Enemy shot missed.
I mean, it's a phone game.
I mean, you also have to bear in mind that I can't really
Hostiles
look at small screens for too long because I suffer from ocular migraines and stuff. So like looking at a small screen is a very good way of me getting one. So it's the same reason I don't like going to the cinema, because like sitting in a dark room with a bright screen gives me a really bad migraine.
reported.
However, if I'm sat in a room in front of a monitor with the lights on, I can normally be okay for a long period of time,
Enemy module
as long as it's a bright room.
I'm
I've had
pretty
to
much fine anywhere.
I've had to make sacrifices as I've gotten older, kind of thing. But I mean, like, I'm also one of those people that I've never ever received motion sickness in a video game, ever. So, like, when people complain about motion sickness, I'm like, I've never dealt with that. So,
Yeah, me neither. I genuinely don't even understand how it's possible. Like cars, when you're playing a game and reading a book in a car, I get that. You're actually
Yeah.
in motion.
yeah,
What the
yeah.
fuck are you doing while you're playing a game to give yourself motion sickness?
Our shot was blocked.
Well, that's the thing, is I get motion sickness in vehicles as well. Like, I'm okay in a front seat, and as long as I focus straight forward. But for instance, if I'm in the front seat and I look out the side window for too long, I get really bad motion sickness. But I get motion sickness eventually anyway. It's like staying off the protest almost, if that makes any sense. Like,
Module offline.
I'm okay in a car for about 30 minutes up to an hour maybe. But after an hour in a vehicle, I'll always get motion sickness no matter where I am, where I'm sat, what I'm doing.
Enhancements recovered.
For me, I've never been car or seasick. Or plane sick, I guess, whatever that would be called.
Yeah. I hate flying. Like, I've always hated. I don't mean flying the person, of course. If he's watching this, he'd be like, "What do you mean you hate me?" No, I generally don't like planes. Like, I hate them. Cannot stand them. And you know, I'm going on vacation to England in a few months, so hooray! You know, got to go on 2 planes again. Because every single time I go to England, I have to get a plane from Ohio to somewhere else, and then to England. I can't just get a straight shot. So the way you look at it is to go on vacation and come back. I've got to go on 4 plane rides, and it's horrible. I hate it. And this time I got to deal with like a 2-year-old. So
Good
that's
luck.
gonna be fun. For 10 hours, it's gonna be 10 hours is the shortest flights
Is
we
it
can get.
illegal to just drug your baby so that she's just unconscious the entire time?
It depends what you use to drug them, I guess.
Well, then you should use the one that is legal.
Well, I don't actually think it's legal to drug your baby at all. So,
Oh, really? Then what the fuck's the point of childless medicine?
I mean, she's relatively
Check
well.
your mate, sir.
She's relatively well behaved. I'm not too worried, but you know, a 10 hours is a long time to behave for, isn't it? Like, you know, there's going to be moments in that time.
Well, not to mention planes. Like,
Yeah.
you have to deal with their ears popping and everything.
Yeah, I don't know what that's going to be like. She's normally relatively good when she's teething, so, but I don't think that's any good indication of how she's going to cope with air pressure. So,
Well, let's just hope not horribly.
yeah. Mind
And
you,
remember, worst case scenario, a shot of rum for you and a shot of rum for the baby.
well, the way you're meant to deal with when you're having air pressure problems, you're meant to like suck on like a boiled sweet. And since you know she still like has a pacifier, you know, maybe that will help. Because I ain't going on a 10-hour plane
If
ride
she's
without a
not
pacifier.
screaming.
If she's not screaming, yeah. Honestly, she rarely gets like that. So,
I mean, on the bright side, you'll be the guy with the screaming baby instead of the guy in front of the guy with the screaming baby.
yeah. That's true. Also, you know, planes have headphones, so I could just ignore it, I guess.
That is probably not the right course of action.
That you realise after being a parent, Cadlos, there's only so much you can do to calm your child down.
No, but I'm more imagining just how everyone else would feel if there's a screaming baby, they look back and the fucking father has got his headphones in.
Well, I'd look at them and say, put your fucking headphones in!
Medical alert.
But no, I don't know. We'll see. I guess it'll be an interesting experience or a horrible one. I'm not sure.
Yellow alert.
I'm sure it's gonna be pretty horrible.
My mind's not horrible.
Yeah. Honestly, I reckon the connection flight's gonna be the worst. Is when you have to, because like I said, I have to travel from Ohio to somewhere else to get. Oh, blue.
Suddenly Mass Effect music.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like I said, the guy who did music for this game was the same guy who did Mass Effect. I can't remember it. Oh, what's his name? I know his last name's Wall. I can't remember his first name though. Is it Wall or Hall?
Diarrhea cases cleared? Gross.
Who did I put on that?
Probably me. I think it was me. You're an asshole.
If it's a medical issue, yeah, it probably was you.
Command
Well, you looked worried anyway.
Civilian thieves.
Resource thieves. I think they're worried about another incident of running out of oxygen.
It's 43 days. They're fine.
entering orbit.
I feel like I've heard this song before.
Just because you have.
Captain, what are your orders?
When it's a short one like that, I normally use an old one because why not? It's only gonna be playing for like a few seconds.
Frankly, with that one playing for so short a time, followed by an away mission, I would have used It's a Good Day to Die.
Poor conditions. Shuttle launched.
Is
By
that
default, I'm the commander. Awesome.
yeah.
I did it.
Confirm location.
Oh, sure, now Hunt takes command. Fuck you.
What we got? Oh, abandoned caves, stressful. Yeah, I don't think I want to venture in there.
YOLO.
What would you choose?
Barge in.
And that's how you'd end up with no crew. It didn't really matter since the chance of success is 100 anyway.
Mission complete. Returning.
Where'd that go?
Wow, I don't trust that guy.
Your orders, Captain.
He's a bit pasty, isn't he?
He's a Cylon.
Engines at maximum power.
I actually saw something really interesting the other day. It was
Orange alert.
a reporter was talking to a neo-Nazi group about like Donald Trump and how like he'd be really good for the country. I'm just like, okay, a neo-Nazi group saying that, okay, sure.
Command issue
But
resolved.
I will say one thing that one of them said, and I was actually, you know what? That's actually quite an amount of self-awareness, and I will put my, not hand on my heart, but I will say that I appreciate the fact that he's self-aware, because most racists don't see themselves as racist. They say, I just say the stuff that people don't, like, that people don't want to hear the truth, so, you know, I'm not racist, it's just people don't like hearing the truth, kind of thing. But this guy actually self-identified as racist. He actually said, yeah, I'm racist, I don't like people because of the colour of their skin. I'm thinking, that shows a certain degree of self-awareness there, doesn't it? Also space.
I don't know if I'm inclined to agree.
Engineering issue resolved.
But no,
I mean-
what I mean is most people, yeah, who basically are racists won't identify themselves as racists. You know what I mean? They say, well, I'm not racist, it's just people don't want to hear the truth. You know?
Yeah, but like, if this guy's just willing to say, yeah, I don't like people because of the color of their skin.
I know, don't
Is
get me
he
wrong,
like-
he's still an asshole. I'm not like, that's not like on for debate. Like, I still don't
that's,
like
that's not
the
what
guy.
I mean, though. I mean, like, what the fuck's his point? Why does that make it any different?
Well, you saying you side more with the people who are saying, well, my reason is because
Hostile
If they
ship
at least
detected.
have a reason, it's like, okay, so I disagree, but if that's how you feel, at least you have an argument. This guy's just straight up saying, no, it's because they're black.
yeah,
Like, that's not a reason. You can't just hate someone because of that.
it's a reason. It's not a good reason, but I'd argue so. It's the reason for
No.
like other people.
Like, you can use the reason of, like, oh, I don't like someone who's black because of X stereotype. And it's like, alright, so that's a reason.
I mean, are we talking like the stereo? When I say the stereotype, I mean like the stereotype that some people have of like, oh, black people are thugs, kind of thing. Because I would suggest there's more probably white people like that I've met, honestly.
That'd be a matter of, there's a lot of assholes in the world, and right now the majority of the world
It's white,
in
yeah,
North America is white.
yeah. So there's a lot of white
So-
assholes, yeah,
Even if it's the exact same ratio of thugs,
yeah,
you're seeing more white ones.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we're all inclined to agree stereotypes exist for a reason, and I don't like stereotypes either because me being English, I get stereotyped quite a bit. I mean, all English people drink tea, right? I mean, I do drink, I do, but but all English people like watching soccer, right? Or as football as they refer to it in England, right? I say soccer now just to stop arguing about it because it's just a dumb argument. Because honestly, I don't care about it. Like, I hate sports. Like, I can't stand it.
They blocked
I'll watch a soccer match, but I have no investment
enemy shot
in
missed.
any way, shape or form. So it's really funny when you get these people who are like super invested in sports and they're like really passionate about the teams they support. I'm just like thinking,
Shot
why?
missed.
Why?
You know, I'll admit I don't get it either. I mean, to a degree, I get hit. Yeah, okay. Like, for example, hockey. I root for Vancouver Canucks because it's my local team.
Yeah,
I don't have any investment. I don't care whether they actually win or lose, but it would be fucking nice if they did, maybe
Yeah.
once, finally.
you mean like if England won the World Cup for once, maybe,
Destroyed.
ever? Well, they've won it
Just use it
before.
for tea, anyways.
Yeah. Well, no, the last time England won, we lost the World Cup. It got stolen. So...
Module offline.
Fucking chavs.
I don't even know there even was chavs back then.
There were always chavs.
I'd imagine Shakespeare having to deal with them. That would have been amazing.
There must always be a chav king.
Speaking of Chav King, there was that one guy who he won the lottery and like got his teeth like gold plated, bought a sports car, spent all his time with prostitutes. He like, I think he won something stupid like 5 million. Like he blew it all in like a space of 5 years. Like he just lost all of it. And now he's on the dole, which a lot of people don't agree with. I say dole. Do you know what I mean by dole?
I'm guessing welfare.
Yeah.
Enhancements found in wreckage.
So, you know, a lot, like, he literally got out of prison, won the lottery, pretty much, right? And then he spent all that money in 5 years and now he's back on welfare.
Engines
And a lot of people saying he doesn't deserve it because he squandered it, you know? That money should have lasted him for the rest of his life, but because he squandered it, now he's back on welfare, and a lot of people don't agree with it.
module
I'm
repaired.
inclined to agree and disagree.
Yeah.
Because ultimately it comes down to a line.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if someone earns their way up to 1 or 2 million, it is possible to blow that within reason.
Yeah.
But if this guy just sort of got lucky, got 5 mil, and then blew it,
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
that
pretty
means
much.
he outright ignored the number of people who were trying to give him advice. And I know that, like, actual accountants were trying to give him advice.
Yeah.
It's guaranteed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in his case, definitely no, fuck that guy. I don't want him on welfare.
Yeah. I mean, like, I agree, I wouldn't want him on welfare either. So, I mean... Also, I sped up the last jaunt since it was just a straight shot and there was no battles.
And now that we're almost at the final planet, it gets revealed that we're actually on a British TV show. And we're all just fooled into thinking we were in space.
Oh, Space Cadets, yeah, that's awesome, I loved that show. It was like Big Brother in space though, unfortunately. But at least it was more interesting than Big Brother.
Congratulations, Captain.
D+, yeah, that's a pass.
Yay!
And humanity is safe once again.
But yeah, that's the full run of Into the Stars. We got a bit off topic in places, but whatever. I mean,
You know, I'm calling shenanigans. We're literally 4 days away from, like, Scorn HQ. How is this safe?
well, apparently they don't have... Well, they actually said, we're safe for now, Captain. So it's like, yay, safe for, like, not very long at all. I think it's implied that, like, you think that the center of the galaxy of this area is where they're based, kind of thing, right? But it's heavily implied the entire time that you're basically just being chased by them, and basically you just outrun them, they don't have the resources to chase after you anymore. But I would argue, since you had the resources to get there originally, then sure they would have them, because that's, you know, why Earth was basically destroyed, because they stole the resources.
I'm sure you could sit in orbit, or not in orbit, but just before that final planet and eventually get 3 of them.
Yeah. Anyway, you know, thanks for joining us, guys. You know, fun game. I do recommend it. It is very early access, so.
Nothing
Okay.
ever goes right.
Care to add anything before we go?
Trump 2016.